The time is 2 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock on the AM side. We say good morning and thanks for staying with us on Diamond 887 of Family Lorry. This news sponge, news and current affairs compilations of topical stories making the rounds. I'm your host, Precious AFOLABI. And here are the headlines trending on the news today. Tinubu celebrates Kwara Governor Abdul Razak on birthday. Kidnapped Kwara monarch regains freedom after 12 million naira ransom. Family. Court order police to pay 310 million naira damages over unlawful arrest of lawyers. Governor Makinde appoint retired Army General as security advisor. New remunerations for political office holder ready, says RMAFC. Wike defends housing project for judiciary, says it's not to compromise judges. PDP leadership crisis, two Iraqi factions crisis, INEC recognitions of Wike's camp. And we'd have this, the Kwara massacre. PDP demands probe security summit. And moving on, we have these also, the Opebolo partners and NPC to build condensate refinery in Edo. Moving on to the INEC. INEC registers two new political parties. Court orders British government to pay 420 million euro to family of coal miners killed in Enugu. A court orders police to pay 310 million damages over unlawful arrest of lawyers. You can't impose leadership on us. PDP wants INEC over recognitions of Wike faction. And moving on to this, we have the UK court sentencing Nigerian man to life imprisonment for killing ex-girlfriend. Kaduna governor hails return of freed worshippers. And now moving on to the international scene from the international news today, US and Iran agrees to hold nuclear talk on Oman on Friday. Spain floored storms Leonardo forces 4,000 evacuations in Andalusia. Turkey to boost its anti-terrorism support to Somalia. Republic of Congo, president declared himself a candidate for elections. Moving on to the world of sports, Chelsea manager Rosner accuses Arsenal of disrespect, and the under-20 WWCQ Falconet suffers double injury blow ahead Senegal clash. And those are the major headlines making the rounds today. To compiled and edited by Nedu Okore. And I am Precious. AFOLABI for sponsorship or advert placement. Kindly contact the sales and marketing office on this number 0912 929 4332 or 0907 7227120. Up next is a Diamond Breakfast Show where we discuss and have in-depth analysis on some of his topical stories making the rounds. And don't forget, you can follow us by logging on to any of our Diamond FM online platform on www.diamondfm.net or keep update via our social media pages. And I am Precious AFOLABI. Please, let's go.
You cannot control me. You can. Okay. You can have a little control, but I'm still in charge. I can attack any minute, but you can control for like a second. Oh, that's nice. That's really awesome spot right there.
We know exactly how that feels at Diamond FM. With good conversations, music, and top entertainment that touches your soul. It's radio like no other. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hurt Indomine? I mean, this is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice the new democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
You know, sometimes it sweetens my belly when it is, Friday and we say TGI have. And definitely it is a day that, we just used to use it to, wrap up the week. Definitely that, we're packing a bag and baggages, getting ready for the next month. And of course, the net energy has to be on a high tempo, definitely. And whatever it is, I will be saying TGIF to you, beautiful people, Nigerians, and Nigerians across this very country as well, that are really enjoying the hustle. And we pray that our hustle one day will pay. This is Diamond FM with your main man, Precious AFOLABI D. Today, 6th February 2026, and I welcome you to DBS. This is where we discuss in-depth analysis and evaluate quality conversations and stories and significant events of the national and global importance that requires engaging narratives, aiming for clarity that will solve the societal challenges with our guests and to engage the listeners at home also to contribute and be part of the show. Of course, the number right here is 0916 556952, 0916 556952, or 0916 556864, 0916 556864. That is the WhatsApp number. You can drop your message there, and definitely I'll deem it fit to read those messages out from here. And of course, it's another beautiful day, just like I told you. We don't do it alone. We have as many as possible analysts that could help in the midst of the conversations to look into so many areas that we're going to be talking, to be engaged with this morning. And today it's my joy to introduce to you one beautiful guest also that is getting, it's time to come to the studio this morning, and that is Dr. Adeyonju Adiola is here with me in the building. Doctor, good morning, sir.
A beautiful morning, my brother. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate your energy this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having you.
Okay, pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a track point which we're going to be concentrating our conversation to this morning. We have Sanusi reveals a real issue fueling child marriage in northern Nigeria. And that we're going to be talking about the menace of the early girl child marriage, major factors responsible for the early girl marriage, looking into the domestic abuse in the name of cultural dictate. Of course, way forward and the rule of the traditional rulers. We can't take it away. We just have to go to that direction this morning. And of course, we're going to be talking about the contrary claim by Senator Abaribe over the Electoral Act amendment, talking about the criticisms of the passage by the Senate, expectations as both chambers move harmoniously in that very particular angle. Of course, we're going to talk about the registrations of two more political parties and the possibilities of impacting the political space. Recognition of the Wike-led People's Democratic and the Nenadi-led LP factions. Of course, we're going to talk about that. And let me keep you on suspense on that we have a very particular stories to look into. It's a breaking news, definitely. And we're still going to unveil that. Let's gather the information. And of course, you know what we do right here, precise and concise information. That is what we give to you people. That's for the living. That is what we do right here. And of course, my name is Precious AFOLABI D. Your main man on the show today. We have angles which we'll be looking into. But we just have to be very practical this morning with all of the issues, the angles we'll be looking at this very morning. I know that they are of major concerns to Nigerians when it comes to the particular menace of the early child marriage and the major factor responsible for that. And of course, this is also making us to understand that whatever it is, whatever that could be, you don't need to deny any child what we call quality education. And of course, we know it is a priority on the table of all the governors, especially in this very clan of the country we're talking about. Doctor, let us just look at it, before we go straight into what we have this morning. Sometimes it surprises me, and when I get a little conversations with people about child education, that is one. And I begin to ask a particular question, and the question will be, do we really have a certain sector, from the children's space that, okay, I think you are too old for education. I think it was 2 days. I think 2 days I heard that a very particular news that I had that happened 3 years ago of a 65-year-old man that was just graduated from his PhD. I think PhD. Is it PhD? I think it's...
Yes.
Yeah, PhD. At that age, 65, 75. BSc too.
Yeah.
What is the joy in education?
God bless you. It is good to be educated because it is as if you are transforming from darkness to light.
Okay.
And education, when you look at it, is not the schooling, the so conventional schooling academy that is education alone. Your aspect of traveling, navigating different places, gathering experience, because the essence of go to school is to gather more experience for you to behave in a rational way more than where you are.
Okay.
So education is an eye opener, and there's nothing that can be compared with education. Yeah, I so believe.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go for these advert placements. Then we'll move into the show straight up.
Better be iron and care, be good for your body. Yeah. Are you not aware? Body back for the day for there. Now your daily friend, for your blood, if it 10 over 10. Oh, yes. Feel your best, join to it on fast the test. Blood builder for everybody. Healthy body for everybody. Erupina, product of it in healthcare.
Diamond 887 FM radio in Lori, Kwara State, Nigeria. The Emir of Kano and the former CBN Governor Alhaji Muhammadu Sanusi II has openly condemned the child marriage that is during an exclusive television program. That was 3 years ago. And also we have the the leading of the northern religious leaders also from the primary health sector in the Kano. That was 3 years ago. And we have another tie into that this very year, 2026, and coupled with the 2026 Traditional Institutions of National Development, and it's on an exclusive interview on the national TV, where we have is Royal Highness Alhaji Haliru Ndanasa, Emir of the Shonga Kwara State. And of course, they have this to say. Let's just listen attentively.
So many things. So when you look, you take stock. The ones that are causing more harm, you try and address them very quickly. Some that are just benign, allow them. That's my culture. When you dance this, you dance that way. It doesn't matter. But take, for example, early marriage. It's contentious issue in Islam. But when you see 18 years, they say, no. Don't waste your time with that. Force them to school. When you force them to school, you do many things. So we can use that instrumentality to get them to fall into marrying late. Because it's very devastating when they marry early. Once see a girl, because somebody say you can marry at 13 or 12 or whatever it is, it's a baby carrying a baby. Sometimes they fall together and stand up again. But more importantly, she gets damaged. I remember my first practice, the first time when I was in ONG posting, a 13-year-old came bleeding. And one tall gentleman who said was my friend said, that's my wife. I didn't understand. I said, your daughter? I said, my wife. So these are, I'm not going to medical, I'm trying to say really in culture, in the setting. So when you get information that you think you can now use, break it down for them to see. This guy is leaking urine.
And of course, that is the voice of the Emir of Yonga Kwara State, Haliru Ndanusa, describes the impact of illegal marriage, suggesting education as an alternative to address the menace. If you still hear that we still have some states that are practicing, I think some describe this as to be a menace in the society, and having the caliber of these two emirs, showing that this is quite an habit that it's not called for in the society. What does that really suggest to you?
God bless you. You see, let me put it that schooling take more than 80% of education. And for categories of such emir to have come out, if you look at the forum at which we were speaking, I think the topic is traditional institution and national development.
Yeah.
And we all know the importance of national development and
the traditional institution.
Exactly. Yeah. And the youth, according to them, and which everybody knows, are the leaders of tomorrow. The way you prepare them today will determine what the future will look like. And that is why they pick the topic that the traditional institution will be able to galvanize situation so that children out of school will be able to be in line of the education. And if you look at the way they speak with various of example, you know that these people are up to the task, but the approach is what I don't like.
Okay, what's the approach?
Yeah, their approach is going through media. I think they should leave the aspect of media to those people that have been doing it. Yes, we know the importance of education, and we know the government, according to them, have not been doing what government is supposed to do in order to educate the children. If you look at what Emir Sanusi said, and that majority of the people that give their child to marriage at the tender age were afraid of poverty, that probably maybe after primary school, they don't have anything doing. The next thing, instead of engaging in social vices, let them get married, and probably is because they didn't see more than where they had. That if the school has been established rationally by the government, they will be able to push them to the school to engage them to a reasonable extent before they get married. I believe where I fought then is that they should leave the social media to the general public. You see, the traditional institution, you fought the government. The government will come, those people that were refers to be part of the government are the political office holder and the elected members that will come to your area, to your palace during election to come and canvass for votes. By this time, They have the Council of Traditional Ruler where they engage themselves in a series of meetings. I've been expecting a situation that at this period we have, it is not what somebody wants to do for you. How would the person do it? And the words you come from you. You as a traditional ruler, you're supposed to have scheme on your need. Now, in individual palace, a forum has already come where you engage yourself the need of each of the environment. When these people begin to come to your place to convert for votes, you are the father of all. Tell them this is your problem. How will you solve my problem?
Coming to their palace to seek for their hands during the time of elections.
Exactly.
If you are saying waiting for them to come to the palace just because they need something from them, don't you think it's really going to be too late? Yeah. At this very time, if we are to wait and taking off the aspect of media, is it really, just look at it. Can we really take the aspect of media out of it?
The media aspect is not for the traditional ruler. Sitting on radio, they have other area of engagement. The media, there are a set of people that will do the media. Part of the media advocacy is what we are doing here. We have some civil society who will do the media advocacy, enlighten people. But the three categories of people that we help in this area in Nigeria is the traditional rulers, the religious leader, and probably the one arms of government, which is the judiciary. You see, these three people, traditional ruler, religious ruler, and judiciary, can shape what the executive and judiciary will do in time of policy that will help people's education. I didn't say it is it will be too late. We got our independence in 1960. What have they been doing up to that particular moment? Another election is coming. Do you think them sitting at a particular forum discussing this with series of forums that has been taking place within their arena, even in time of security, the traditional rulers have been doing it. What have we gotten? And if you look at, I'm not saying what they have done.
I understand.
But the approach they're supposed to use is not what they are using now. There are other approaches that will be used that will better the situation, because if you look at Nigeria as of today, we are having 6 geopolitical zones. Almost every geopolitical zone have children out of school, but it is more thicker in a particular geopolitical zone than the other. People align it with religion, but I never see as a religion something. I see it as a cultural system, because our value, our traditional, our culture has been there before the religion. Now people try to synchronize their culture into religion. That is why if you look at the culture in a particular place, let me give an example of the northern part that is having many children out of school. If you say, some people might argue that it is because of Islamic religion, but in Bauchi, you have a lot of Christians in Bauchi, more than Muslim, and they are still playing the same system because of their culture. You have people out of school in the west, in the east, but because of their culture, they believe education is most important, and the parents will do anything for their children.
So culture is the determining factor.
Honestly speaking, if you go there, you see the so-called children, they take care more of the girl children. You won't see them outside. The boys will have been in the market doing wheelbarrow or doing all sort of things. I think they're supposed to have started before now, and it is never too late the way they started, but not on social media engagement. They need to call themselves, have a forum meeting on which they will have a policy outlook that will reflect each of the environment, and the approach will now be probably by going through the geopolitical zone or the Northern Governors Forum, the Southwest Governors Forum. They should tell them what they need.
Dr. Adeoju, let's have this little scenario. You are my father, and I happens to be your mouthpiece. And I go into the social media or any other part of the social media, where we believe that communications will actually travel as far as possible. And I made a suggestion of what you told me to deliver to the people. And after delivering that, you, my father that sent me an errand to do that, now came and make that pronouncement. What do you feel? Don't you feel that that is really actually going to cut across a lot of people, even to hold the validity of that statement? If we are like, okay, that's social, or the media is not really the place that they really need to be, what other places do you feel that could be? Let us just put more armor on that.
God bless you. Don't get it wrong. I said there are people in the media space who will take the advocacy.
Who are those people?
More than.
Who are those people?
We have the civil society. There are other people as a community youth who can do that, and most of the people in their bracket age will be able to sensitize more on what they have said. The traditional rulers supposed to align themselves in the community, and thank God, I will be saying that always, that we have a kind of system where you have a local government autonomy, and every system start from the grassroots. They can align their grassroots politicians, because if you listen to what they hammer most, they talk more about government not being sensitive to people's education.
Government,
Yes. And is it on the pages of newspaper they will now tell government do that and government will do it? Yes, there should be a forum, and the forum should be in form of hierarchy. They have the youth age that are there, they have the gender, female, male. Everybody should be carried along. When these people now be the advocate of educating the youth, the information will sink very well. And every information will now come to their table at the palace. They will know more of the people's need. Now, there are 3 categories of people.
All right.
The categories of people that are supposed to go to school, the traditional rulers, and the government.
And the government.
Now, is it the government that will now go to individual rooms? I'm not supporting the government, but we have to be sincere. Individual houses to pick their children that you must go to school. They are talking about a law that will be so serious for somebody who refused to put his children in school. And they were all even saying that when the school is not available, the government will not say more about that. We have many community schools. We have more private school than government school these days. How many of people, even some, if you talk of the expenses, some are not expensive in the rural area.
All right, Dr. Adeonju, I think I like that point. We're still going to hammer on that point, and to bring it a little bit down to the responsibilities of the traditional leaders. But let me open up the phone line before we go for this advert placement. 0913 655 6952. 0913 655 6952. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
This is Dr. Babajori, sir.
Yeah, Baba, welcome, sir.
God bless you. Even ordinary traveling is part of education. Very important. Education means a lot. Illiteracy is a disease. I want you to change their system. I want to say this system that all children should be educated. If not so, there will be a thorn on our neck in your future. See what's happening now. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Babola Jorin, for your contributions. 0913 655 6952. Illiteracy, it's a disease. And of course, okay, let's pick this. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I think that should be the network there. Not really friendly, but you can drop your message to the WhatsApp line. The WhatsApp line is 0913 655 6864. 0913 655 6864. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. It's good to have you, sir.
Problem you don't have that. If you have statistics, we will know that this thing is not even more rampant in the area we are linking it to, which is important. Statistics carried out by from society 5 years ago show that it's even more in the southeast. You may not believe that. Go and check. The problem we have is that people in the rural area, even here in the olden days in Yoruba land, I have some people whose children are almost of people, who are just 2-3 years younger than me. And by the time I check their date of birth, I will see that they were just 16-17 years older than me. Which means it is the duty of government to now enlighten people and the community themselves to enlighten people that this early marriage is not good. They should allow them to go for education. God bless them.
Oh, thank you very much for your contributions. That, if I can deduce that, it's not the responsibilities of the government alone. We have the traditional leaders, we have the spiritual leaders, if we will have to put it that way. And individually, we have a particular responsibility that we really need to meet out of it. Please, let's go for these advert placements, then we'll continue.
My fellow country people, I hope say you don't hear about health insurance policy wey Kwara government they talk about today. The information are confirm and the thing good for you and me as a person and as family. This health insurance, e dey for everybody, for papa and mama. This health insurance also dey for people wey get HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, even pikin under 5 years, plus including pregnant women. Me and my family don't register with just small money. My friend, you fit go any hospital where they do health insurance, whether na public or private hospital. Pay small money and register sharply. With that money where you pay for your family, it go cover you for 1 year. Bam. Now so the thing bill. If you love yourself and this beautiful woman and pikin, go register and get your health insurance coverage so that you no go pay too much when sickness come. You fit call this number for free. Then no go come out your money, your 080-010-010 again 01 or go to house 27B Amado Bello Way, GRA for Ilorin. This message now from Kwara State Health Insurance Agency.
Yeah, good morning and welcome back to DBS show right here on Diamond 887 FM, which you may mean precious AFOLABI D. The menace of illegal child marriage is what we have on the table this morning, looking into the major factors responsible for that. And of course, and I have Dr. Adeyanju Deola in the building. And of course, we have a very particular, angle we'll need to really, stress this morning, and that is the responsibility of the traditional leaders, rulers. What do you feel, or how ways of which will means that, could really give an impacting way of how to be able to sensitize the general public, the government definitely, and how can they really speed up? Maybe they have left the, the priority undone, but how can they speed up to that responsibility?
Thank you very much. You see, let me firstly say something about a particular statistic by the World Bank and the UNICEF that said the numbers of children out of school in Nigeria is up to 11 million. That is 10 point something million. And majorly the Northeast and Northwest carry the higher percentage. That is the recent one. Yes, the person that just spoke is not out of point. It was one time said that it was a southern part of the country. But statistics never never been stagnant. It moves from time to time. That is the current statistic. And
I was even getting the ratio that the journey of how the girl child have been married, it's from if we are to look at it in 5 minutes, like 3 girls in 5 minutes.
Which is extremely
very
bad.
devastating.
Exactly. And the way to go about this, if we want to curb this menace, I think every hand's supposed to be on deck.
Okay.
Major responsibility in time of policy outlook is from the government, because in time of social contracts, they are the ones that are custodians of human responsibility.
Okay.
We have submitted our resources to them. Notwithstanding, little will government do if the categories of people that need the policy refuse to sensitize themselves in order to get ready for the policy. And those two categories are the elderly people and the youth that really need this. And the elderly of the community can easily sensitize themselves. Let each of the youth get ready for the education system. Let them know the importance of education. Let them sensitize themselves before the jingles will be rolled out from the government or from the community, either through any platform. But, when one is informed, you will perform. But when you are not informed, there is no any levels of performance that will be given. It will go to your deaf ear. So that is why we believe that the government hold the policy, they hold the resources, but the resources can just be there without you say, no, the government have not been doing up to what is expected of them. But the little that has been done, do the people consume it? Go to series of institutions today, you discover that the so-called what do you call this quota system still rampant in a particular area where they refuse to fill their people. And some of them will be telling you that it is better that I go to my farm. What I will realize we need to, yes, farming is also okay, but you can take it comparatively. If an educated person become a farmer, he will do it better more than somebody that is not educated. And that is why we are saying that to curb this, we need to sensitize people from each of the geopolitical zone. Let me give an example. If you go to a state like, if you go to a state like Ekiti today, even a gate man of 65 years old will still have an average levels of education of secondary school over there. And you see youth in a particular geopolitical zone that is not even ready for the primary school. And everything should not be responsibility of the government. It needs to be a push from the community.
All right, it needs to be a push from the community, of course, talking more extensively on the dichotomy where we have at the rural and the urban area too. I think that one also is one particular angle that seems to be very difficult to pierce through. But let's move away from that and move to the next one. Abari Bay insists Senate approved electronic transmissions of results. That the Senator Abari Bay has insisted that the Senate approved the electronic transmission of election results in real time, dismissing media report suggesting otherwise and saying its integrity is at stake over the issue. Speaking at the media briefing on the National Assembly on Thursday, accompanied by the 1370 Senator Abari Bay asserted that the Senate did not pass the transfer of result as contained in the 2022 Electoral Act, but rather approved the electronic transmissions of result, stressing that the distinction is deliberate and important. He said, and I quote, "I am concerned about the report on the media, and that is why we decided to make this clarification. What we passed is electronic transmission of result. I need to make this very clear." Abaribe explained that the Senate decisions followed an extensive legislative process involving consultations with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the civil societies organizations CSO. And according to him, a joint committee of the National Assembly held several retreats with the stakeholders, after which there was a consensus of electronic transmissions of results should be adopted by both of the House of Representatives and the Senate. I think there is a misunderstanding in that. What's your take on that?
My dear brother, we don't need to confuse the society. If you look at what happened in the tax law, they were saying that the original accepted fashion were not the one that came to the public. And these people should know that when information go to the public, people will look at that area where information will come before they will know how important it is. So if you are giving the information that is not ideal and is coming from the right quarters, you know, you are causing chaos in the society. Because if you look at the Senate, they are not nocturnal. Whatever they are doing is very open. And if you look at the proceeding, actually, the populace have been saying it before this time that there should be a kind of reform of 2022 electoral law, which they introduced a committee. The committee has worked effectively and efficiently. What the resolution of the committee was that there should be electronic transmission of results. Yes, that is the agreement of the committee. And the committee agreement cannot be final not until when it comes to the larger house. And by the time it came to the Senate floor, the chief whip raised an observation that instead of, what we are discussing now is not why one is better than the other. What we are discussing is what transpired at the house. Yes. So the Senate chief whip, raised an observation that instead of the electronic transmission of results, why can't we align with the transfer of results that go in line with the 2022 Act.
Executive Act.
Electoral Act. Yeah. So, and it was supported by the Deputy Senate President. And their tradition, they say high service. Even if nay is more than high, whatever the senator have stamped, and they stamped it in the opponent where everybody saw it. But because it doesn't go in line with the expectation of the people, which is subject to debate, which of the two is okay. That is why probably these people came out, about 13 of the serving senators that came out to say that is not what we have agreed. That is not what we have agreed means that is not the resolution of the committee, but the agreement of the larger house by the Senate President is that the election should be transferred, not electronically transmission.
All right, Dr. Adedeoju, let's have this.
Those of us who are still around, that it will be necessary to make a clarification of what happened yesterday, to put the records straight. Yesterday, the Senate did not, I repeat, did not pass transfer of results, which was in the 2022. What we passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification sitting on his chair, is transmission of results. And I need to make this very clear. Every one of us who is a senator, who has the privilege to represent a senatorial district, came here under the trust of their senatorial zone. And the reason for us to go into a closed session was so that we can tidy up all the niggling things inside there. And when we now come back to plenary to pass it, that we will pass it without any rancor. I can assure you, on my honor and the honor of all of us who are standing here, that both the Electoral Committee of the Senate, then the Ad hoc Committee of the Senate, and also in the executive session that we had, that we all agreed on section 63, which is electronic transmission of votes.
They all agreed on the section 23, that the executive section 63, electronic transmissions of results, emphasizing on the transmit and the transfer. What good would that really mean now?
Yes, as beautiful as presentation of Mr. Abaribe is, you should know that Senate have a procedure. They have a rule, and they have committee. The committee submitted their there was a rancor in the agreement. The committee submitted the committee submitted their reports, but somebody raised an observation with the chief whip. That one never come out of his Abaribe statement. And when the larger society who did not witness the proceeding begin to see this, you now discover that yes, they are trying to hide something. Yes, they might have been trying to hide something that is not our issue of discussion, unless if you ask something related to that. But what we are saying is that what transpired at the Senate House, it is not after the final agreement that the Senate President came out, and it is not an alteration of what they have discussed. I am saying this for the larger society to know that, not to see this particular Senate sitting as a black sheep of the society. No. And they are not too clean. Whatever they do wrong, we normally correct them. But what took place there is as a result of section 60 subsection 3 that has been agreed upon by the committee and came to the larger house, that the larger house decided, probably as a result of policy interest, throw it out. That is why some people, and if you look at the 13 senators that were there, the majority of the opposition party, and it can even be ascribed as something else, because if a committee comes with a resolution, a standing committee, it doesn't mean that your final outcome will be what will be accepted by the Senate. But like I've said, A or B is subject to debate. But what transpires is what everybody have seen, by somebody raising an observation and supported by another person in the House, that they should repel the idea of section 60 subsection 3 and align with what you have in 2022 Electoral Act by transferring the result instead of the electronic transmission.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name, where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Taiwo. I'm calling from Taiwo.
All right, it's good to Taiwo. It's good to have you. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know whether our guests in the studio observed very well what transpired in the last general election. The opposition, if they are looking this time and they fail to talk, the fact is that we need a law that will back electronic transmission of results. And we also need a law that will back INEC to announce the results from the one they transmitted. It's not from the one they are reaching. So that is where we are having problem. And my brother, if they fail to do so, forget it. APC have, they have won. That's the fact. That's why Abaribe is repeating it. That this is not what they agree upon. So that I want to, because House of Rep, they have already agreed upon what Abaribe was said. So that why the Senate president now want to change it? So that all Nigerians must be, we are highly disappointed with what Mr. Senate President is doing. It is not too late. They should please come back to the table and address the main issue, which is electronic transmission of results. It is very, very important. Without the fair and credible election, we cannot have a good leader. That is the fact. May God bless Diamond.
All right, thank you very much. You see that word now, transmission, transfer.
Yes,
2027 is approached now. What is the details?
God bless you and God bless Mr. Taiwo to have shifted our line of discussion from what transpired to how it's supposed to be. Now, he has aligned his own thought to if it is being electronically transmit, one will be seeing what is operating in the IREF direct, which is a simple logic with common sense for a rational human being to have known that, yes, this is the best of a system. But to another set of people, if you look at an election, even a Jega election that took place overnight, a particular election was cancelled because the server has been touched a night before the general election, where you have some votes that have been recorded in. And not until we try that kind of a system will know that the ACA has gone more than even those people that are sitting in the INEC arena. Because a situation where you have more votes than what you expect, and Nigeria will be telling you, after all, you have it in your high rep. And somebody will sit at the corner of his room. Have we advanced to that level? If somebody like us, Poppy, can, galvanize the system
for the last election.
Even in advanced country, to have make a cyber crime at which these people is outsmart these people, and those people that are the categories of people that are advancing technology. Talk more of a country like Nigeria. What another set of people is saying is that if the electronic transmission is allowed, whatever you see is what you believe in. And if somebody just put in a particular thing, there is no way in the court of law, what we have seen is what we are going to count. Even if at the end of the day, you now discover, after they might have declared somebody a winner, you now discover that it is being written at the corner of room and the real election is not there. That one will not come up again after the swearing in. That is why we need to think twice on whatever we want to do. That is why I say Mr. Taiwo have shifted our discussion to what transpired to how it's supposed to be.
All right, electronic transmission result and transfer. It's a big deal on the table of the government, especially for 2027. And INEC also to sit up on this.
Of course.
All right, hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Your name, where you calling from?
This is Dr. Larry Okiki, exponent calling from Itakure.
All right, thank you, sir.
I wanted to commend the effort of the presenter and our analysts in the studio.
Thank you very much, sir.
May God bless you abundantly. This morning, I have not much contribution. I just want to commend the effort of the analysts in our first conversation of this morning. So, and the comment of the last caller, Mr. Taiwo, on electronic something, he was a very good thinker and it's a very good advice that he already gives. Dr. Landio, exponent from Itakure.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We really appreciate it. Let's have a quick touch on this because it's quite interesting. That is, the INEC recognizes Wike-backed PDP factions, Nanadi-led Labour Party. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission says invites the factions of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, led by Abdul Rahman Muhammad and the Senator Samuel Inyao to meeting of political parties geared towards the 2027 general elections as the faction, which is backed by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, represented the Crisis Eden Party at the stakeholders meeting organized by the electoral body on Thursday. Now, recalls that the faction led by barrister Tanimo Turaki was recently sacked by the Federal High Court in Ibadan, your state. Similarly, the caretaker committee of the Labour Party led by Senator Nnamdi Usman was also spotted at the meeting. We have this faction. It's not a story to Nigerians now about a lot of things that is happening in the caucus of the People's Democratic Party. Now, looking at it, the INEC is backing the weakest faction now. What is the message to the People's Democratic Party for 2027?
Yeah, the message is that INEC backing weakest PDP faction is as a result of the judgment of the Court of Law. Not that
as a result of the judgment of the Court of Law.
Not
okay.
that INEC decided to unpick one out of the two factions.
Okay.
And whomever come on board as a result of the court are those people that will present their candidates. But we should not forget that the system has bastardized a lot of things before the so-called recognition, because none of the governors who are in PDP will have wait up to this moment without doing their primary. The time will have gone. It is only those people that took the risk of let me align with Like or say Makinde. At the end of the day, wherever it goes is what will be your benefit. Look at what happened in Osun State. Adeleke was expecting not to move out of PDP. But when the judgment and the rancor still continue, you discover that he went to Accord Party. If he had known that this is what will happen, he would have waited and even align with wicked fashion, go for his primary. All this problem is having, he wouldn't have gotten it. But now, whoever come out of PDP, Wike said it, that they are not going to have a presidential candidate. So more or less, as he's working for the party that gave him that ticket of being the minister of Federal Capital Territory. So he's having his own disadvantage as well by having a loggerhead with the governor. Notwithstanding, PDP will field its candidate according to what is on ground now, and probably they may engage in local government election, state governor election out of representative and senate. But according to what they believe is that they are not going to field a presidential candidate. It is still a good thing to them because they have gotten something. But I want those people who have been breached by PDP, including Wike and some other that have even become president and vice president, governors, senators, at their tender age of 30-something, they have benefited PDP since 2000, at least 1999, up to the present stage. They now begin to sink the ship that took them there. Wherever they go, history will not forget the individual.
0913-655-6952. 0913-655-6864 is the number to be part of the show this morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Your name, where are you calling from?
Mr. Isa from Ilorin.
All right, we can hear you clearly.
Yes, thank you so much. You see, I just want us to learn something. Let us learn how to accept defeat. It's not just that when the election does not favor you, it is not credible. When it favors you, it is credible. I don't think that is how democracy is being practiced. Election is made and somebody will lose and somebody will win. So I think we have to, in the coming election, we have to educate ourselves like that this election, somebody must win and somebody must lose. And the loser must accept whatever be the result. It's not that every election, because it doesn't favor it, is not credible. Thank you so much. That's my contribution.
Yeah, thank you for your contribution. I think it's for the conclusion of this very show. Just accept your defeat. Just accept them. But let's look at it, a quick one, just in 2 minutes. Now, having these factions of Wike to be recognized at this time, what does it really bring out? Is it really bringing out that the card that Wike is dropping on the floor of the table now is actually playing towards his advantage in People's Democratic Party?
Yes, to his advantage, because he can come out boldly and tell anybody that since inception of his political career, he has never set his feet out of PDP. How many people can boast of that? And that is why, you see, he used a lot of logic. And part of the logic is to align with what government is on ground so that I'll be able to
align with the government of the day.
Exactly. So he's using the APC weapon to galvanize what is operating in PDP.
In the PDP,
now, direct or indirect, because the fund is there. And he's so smart to is so smart to have gripped the State House of Assembly at Rivers State, and somebody like me will sometimes ask myself question, how is this man so strong to have more than necessary number at the House of Assembly? And you know the power of legislatures, if they really want to do something to frustrate the executive, they will, and that is what is operating. So Wike is having his way as a result of his logic, notwithstanding he's going to feel people for the political party, and he really know where he's going. And he has the backing of the likes of Piosy.
All right, let me have this call before we say goodbye on the show this morning. Yay! All right, 09136556952. So you can pick just one call for 1 minute. I think I'll be glad to say my buys on that. Okay, let's have it. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, please, 30 seconds, please. Yeah. I really tried so that I can push you on the program today. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions, especially those that are very familiar with the politics atmosphere in Nigeria, to keep asking that very questions that Wike, I think, is the mighty man in People's Democratic Party. We still have other parties too that are saying that things are just working to his favor, despite the fact that we have this, the government that is on ground today. Of course, he can align with that to make his decisions, to really have a little pathway. And of course, whatever it is, all we know that when you lose, you need to accept that you've lost that and just press ahead, because to serve Nigeria is not by force. So, of course, I really want to appreciate my wonderful guest in the building today. That is Dr. Adeyanju Adeola. Dr. Adeyanju Adeola, thank you very much for that brilliant expose that you just touched out to the people. Thank you very much. And I am your main man, Precious AFOLABI D. Big up to Nedu Okorie, and big up to the head of news, that is Taiwo Adediran. Now, the next program will be a Bawa Dasi. Omido will be on board for that. Take care of yourselves.